Hello, welcome to The Square Window, the podcast that rewinds time to take us back on a nostalgic trip to the golden age of kids' TV. I'm Gareth and I'll be your host. My guest for this episode is Will Rose. Will is a professional animator, designer, illustrator, filmmaker, and a bird nerd. He self-confessed, he told me he could say that. He's been an animator on shows like Peppa Pig and Hey Duggee. He's also written an episode for Peppa Pig. His animations have appeared on Springwatch, and he's even animated a beginner's guide to birds, which you can catch on YouTube. I'll put all the links in the comment section below for later. So the show Will is talking about today is the classic Trapdoor with one of the best theme tunes ever. So join us as we take a trip through the square window. Hello, Will, and thank you for coming on the show.
How's it going? Yeah, lovely to be here. Really excited to get chatting about us. Well, is it secret yet? Do we know what it is?
Yeah, we know what it is. We know what it is.
Okay,
It
yeah.
might be something to do with the t-shirts.
Oh, yeah, that's a massive clue.
Man, so this is brilliant you coming on because... So my first thought when I asked you what you wanted to talk about, I thought you were going to go something super traditionally 2D animation with your background, and you completely went left field on me and chose Trapdoor.
Yeah.
So I didn't see you choosing this at all, really. And I've known you for quite a while now, and so for you to be choosing a stop motion show really blew me away. So what was the thinking behind that? Why Trapdoor to start off with?
I think, I wasn't a massive animation nut as a kid. Like, I liked things like classics like Jungle Book, but because I was a wildlife kind of dude, that's why, there's all sorts of panthers and cool things in it. Trapdoor was, I think I wrote it down in in 3 words. It's basically plasticine, colors and fart noises, and that's it. There's not much more to it. But
No.
Right, it's bonking time. I loves a bit of bonking.
I think when I saw it, it was the first time I thought, I can do that. I can see how they've done it. It's a cardboard background, move little plasticine dudes about, and they've had and they've had fun. And that's all I ever wanted to do within animation, was always have fun, big, bright and colourful, and be really silly. And I think for me, it was the first time I even tried doing some animation, because obviously plasticine's the first thing you can really try. I mean, you can try
That's right.
drawing, but I think for me, drawing animation felt like a complete, that's for masters,
Yeah, sure.
It wasn't even approachable. Obviously you could have flip books and stuff, but yeah, I had a go at this. I had a shoebox. I painted all little cobbles on it, and I made a little trapdoor, and I set an old-fashioned camera up, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I made my little Burke. I made the characters. Had little Boney, and I don't know. I think I just totally wung it, which is probably what I do now anyway. But I put the camera as still as I could. It wasn't on a rostrum or anything. And I took photos, and I thought, I'm going to try and flip it. So
Nice.
I made it. So I got all excited, did this thing. Bert comes out the trapdoor comes out. I think some worms come out of it. And then, this little story unfolded, and I took a shot at a time. And then, got really excited. Okay, my 36, pictures came back, and I was like, okay, let's try and flip this. And I was like, fuck you, I can't even flip this. This is awful. And plus, the camera had moved around so much that even if I should try and find it to this day,
yeah, it'd be amazing
all around like that. But it was the first thing that made me want to try and do it myself. So I thought Trapdoor, it's just so simple, and for me, it was the window into animation. There you go.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. Part of speaking to people about the shows they loved, this being such early days, they've gone for the thing that they're most passionate about. Like a couple of people have come back and said, giving me maybe 3 or 4, but they've always had the one that's the one I really want to talk about.
Yeah.
And I would say that the majority of people then, that has been the TV show that's spurred them towards the career path they've chosen. You know what I mean?
Sure, it's like it has to be accessible, doesn't it? Like I loved Transformers, all that kind of stuff. Like I did draw it, but I never thought about making a film out of
Yeah,
it.
sure.
And really, if I thought about it, of course, you could have animated your figures, could you? Like Optimus Prime's quite good, but like it was the first thing I kind of looked at and thought, yeah, I'll give that a go. And what's weird actually is that I've got made a little short called Eagle Blue, and you can see a little blue there, but I swear it's the same color, which is pretty. It's that a little, I've always loved that color. I always stick it in stuff. So
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So
Burke or like it's Burke.
Burke. I can't do accents, right? I love Willie Rushton's accent for Burke. I can do a passable Welsh accent and ask about it, but I can't. But I always, to this day, I still do the guy upstairs.
Oh,
I
yeah.
still like, Burke, feed me.
Where's my dinner?
Yeah.
Where's my breakfast? Yes, sire. All certainly, sire. Great bags full of it, sire.
Because I didn't realise, I forgot the premise is, for anyone who doesn't know, you've got Burke downstairs. He's almost in the dungeons, and upstairs his lord of the manor sounds like it's this big ferocious kind of dude upstairs, big booming voice, and he just booms requests down to Burke, and he's like, "Oh, sorry, sire," like that.
Burke, are you fiddling about with that trapdoor? Oh, no, sir. Certainly not, sir. No, as if I would.
He's kind of going around.
You got that accent nailed.
Yeah, well, and then, but this one, the guy who does the show, like he does all the accents, and it's one of those. That's what I can. You could imagine doing it. So it's a small team and such a small little idea, but I think it looks pretty good. Like the lighting's pretty good. I love the little rooms that they are little, shoe boxes or whatever. But I think they make it look pretty cool. So, and it's just very silly.
Yeah, I sat with the kids and we watched a few. To be honest with you, I think we watched them all because there was 40 of the episodes, and the very last one, Burke leaves,
I don't think I watched the last one. A bit like the last Fresh Prince, never watched it. I was like, it's too much. I know,
that in particular.
I don't like the ends, But like, it's weird, isn't it? How the same thing happens every episode.
Yeah,
but there's something in you. It's like, what colors? So basically, the idea is that something new comes out the trapdoor. He's not supposed to open it.
Yeah.
Then, I'll make a shelf out of this, and then a great big monster comes out. But they're always quite cool designs.
Yeah. Oi, you stop that. You so much as touch one of them. Look at that. He's eating his breakfast. No.
Some of them remind me of like Super Furry Animals covers and things like, but they're just, they're like farty little, worms coming out.
I wouldn't do that. Worms.
And what's the name of have you researched the spider? Was he Drut?
That is Drut, yeah.
Drut. So he just started around like sort of.
That's right, yeah.
But something new came out of the trapdoor each time.
Yeah.
Caused absolute havoc.
for 4 minutes and a bit.
4 minutes, and then it kind of just ends, and you're like, I think he's wrapped this up. It's fine. But basically, everyone just wanted to see the new monster, and that was it.
Yeah, 100%. So paint the picture for the audience of your experience with television growing up. Just things you used to do as a family around the TV, or did you have traditions? Like, was it something you guys would watch like religiously every week, or did your family not really bother with television at all?
Yeah, I mean, as you know, I'm a bit of a wildlife nut, so our family was very much outdoorsy type. Well, not really outdoorsy. We just appreciated nature. And so I'm from Bedfordshire, quite just sort of farmland, quite flat, quite quite uninteresting, but very hard to say. And what was really cool about our house is that we had a lake behind it, it's since become like a country park, but it was literally like my wildland. So if I just went to the bottom of the garden, hopped over a brook, it was literally like an 80s movie. Like I could go and act like with my friends like the Goonies, and we would be like
Amazing.
in the water doing stuff, making up games. Like it was a classic 80s childhood where you were literally
Awesome.
getting on your bikes, pretending. I remember ET stickers on my bike. I mean, that's when I was quite young. It was literally outdoors was quite a thing. But then I would come back and draw. So it would be, and I used to draw, and I don't know if this is just an 80s thing or whatever, but I used to draw things killing things. That used to be the thing that I used to do. So I liked peregrine falcons, and I'd have them killing a pigeon. But then I'd also have like Optimus Prime killing Shockwave. And then
Fair.
and then you'd have you draw your little lasers, but also, there'd be blood, there'd be a bird dead, and it was all about killing things. And and it was just like, and I remember like having Action Force figures, and when the arms fell off, I just put some red plasticine on and paint blood down it, and he'd just be another dead dude. I don't know, acting out stuff. Killing things seemed to be a thing, but it wasn't that destructive. But it was just. I think I enjoyed the sort of interaction, perhaps, between things. And I used to do a lot of things. So I used to call it the beans, and you'd have one cliff there, and there'd basically be armies, and they'd basically be just shooting the crap out of the other side. And you just have all these like little machine gun, like bullets, and then being like, and then but I used to do it with dinosaurs killing each other.
Any other sociopathic tendencies you want to tell me about now?
I love it. And then another thing I used to do, Robin Hood was on ITV at the time, and my dad made me a nice bow. So I wasn't like super gung ho with it, but I really wanted one. And then the other thing I used to do, and this is pretty funny, but as well as acting out stuff in terms of shows I liked, I used to pretend to be a bird as well. So I used to fly around like this, and me and my mate used to do it. And the problem was we had to build a nest, but we had to make it very clear we were just mates. And the two hawks that were just chilling but I think it's another 80s thing. Think about Manimal, hawks were cool.
Yeah.
Pumas were cool. But I used to fly around trying to be a buzzard and just sort of hang out. And that's just some of the little things I used to do. But it's quite outdoorsy. But I used to get back. And then I was remembering this little cartoon I used to do, because I used to just draw everything. I used to copy everything. So I used to get Transformers. The only comic I ever got was Transformers.
Oh, okay.
And I've got them in a loft somewhere. I've got
nice
decent wedge. I mean, I don't know how well kept they are, but I used to copy all the Transformers. That would be just a thing. Grimlock, Prime, all that stuff. But and then you'd come up with other things. And I remember me and a friend, we came up with these just worms. So they were literally just the easiest thing to draw. We just dressed them up as different things from 80s culture. So it was literally started with little worm, fat worm, small worm. But then it'd be like breakdance worm, Michael Jackson, Madonna worm, Slimer worm. Just go through the whole lot. And my friend's mum was convinced we were going to make a book. I mean, I think you could probably do it now. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sold.
Kids into 80s culture, but basically worms. And they would just had little either beards, hair, whatever.
I love it.
But that was kind of a thing. That was my sort of daily life, I suppose. And then TV-wise, we were big David Attenborough nuts. So, I mean,
sure.
They all watch would be like David Attenborough and the Gorillas and things like that. And I used to do impersonations of him and all sorts of stuff. But as a family, that's the one I can really remember as not a cartoon show, but like as a within that 80s.
Yeah, sure.
Everyone sit down, right? The latest Attenborough's on,
Yeah.
and we'll watch that kind of thing. But
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah.
We'd have it like Bullseye, and that's the one I remember the most. You know, it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
that was the one that we'd all. To my father, like darts, and I'm sure that was a Sunday evening sort of thing. You know, everybody wanted to see if anybody actually won the speedboat.
No one
And
ever.
then and then years later, then the lady I married tells me that her father was on Bullseye.
Oh wow, amazing!
And won a holiday and a bully.
Holiday.
Yeah,
God, that's amazing. Yeah, I mean,
told
no
me.
one ever won shit. That was the whole thing.
Yeah.
But still still watchable, like Trapdoor. Like you knew what was going to
Yeah.
happen, but like it was a bit of a laugh, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, but that was our kind of household, really. But obviously, we watched the things like I loved Knight Rider.
Mm.
Like if there was a theme tune that could connect me back to being a kid, it's Knight Rider.
That's
he
cool.
would be the coolest. I still say it now. Like if I'm going to a wedding or something, and you might try and wear like maybe you wear a dark shirt with a jacket. And
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, bit Michael Knight, cool. Still, what I think is cool in my head.
It's the things that stick with you, innit? It's crazy.
Yeah. And I loved cars as well. Like I loved Pontiac Firebirds, all this classic stuff. Like you loved the T-Rex. It's kind of all about being the best of, but you enjoyed both sides to it. But I think I was sort of infatuated with what was cool, what was best. And, you know, and then there was things like breakdance was happening. Everyone was like trying to do the best, like, you know, worm along the street or whatever. And my dad, I asked him to paint like a big Nike swoosh on the wall.
Nice.
And he wrote turbo and ozone. And I could barely pop a flipping shoulder, you know. But I still wanted like that iconic kind of cool, like breakdance stuff on my wall and things
See,
like
that's
that.
one thing I don't know. I never got down to the valleys was breakdancing. I don't know whether it was maybe a year or two before but I never encountered anyone or anybody like in the streets breakdancing, like, you know.
No.
I don't know.
Everyone had a little move, and then like it would be, was it the caterpillar when you go right down? You got ballsy to do that one, but
yeah.
And actually, it's just making me think. Actually, so this is quite a rarity these days.
Yeah.
This Wicket W Warwick.
Nice.
I was quite lucky that this is a good 80s thing, but my dad worked as a graphic designer, but he worked on a lot of packaging.
Cool.
I didn't get as many toys as, like, you know, we talked about before. There's always Bobby down the road who's got the whole set. I never had that, but my dad worked on Star Wars stuff. So I got a little Wicket, and I got the little baby one as well. The only trouble is, because it was the 80s, I don't know if you can see, I actually cut his hair so he had like a bit of a mohawk, because at the time mohawks were cool. It's just a classic, like it's a bit like the Action Force, like doing it, like it was just a thing. But my dad brought back quite a few things. So he worked on the real Ghostbusters toys.
Awesome.
Mask, Centurions.
Wow.
My Little Pony for you, Gareth.
Thank you.
Care Bears. We had Care Bear paint everywhere. So if I was ever drawing anything, bears in the corner.
See, no, that's awesome, because you were surrounded by that stuff then. Do you think that was one of the things as well that got you into just art in general, just being able to?
I think so, yeah. My parents were they both were artists. So, I mean, that helped. My mum did, she's a great designer. I think I get a lot of her colours.
Cool.
Particularly some of the purples and pinks, like she worked in stained glass later, but she also worked at Sanderson doing like wallpaper designs. My dad was more of a graphic designer, but could draw in all different styles. And then they would combine and do like nature stuff, where my dad would draw the bird and my mum would draw the plant. She was really fantastic at drawing plants. So, but I think there was always art materials in the house. I think that
awesome.
There was the Care Bear paper, but there was also some pretty cool like Karen Dash stuff that my dad had nicked from work. And so there was always stuff that you could just get going with. And I remember getting into college. So I think we had to do like some sort of storyboard tests. I remember for our College of Wales, we had to give something in. I remember just drawing a massive storyboard, and I remember using some of my dad's really cool crayons on black. So like you had to do and really block it in. You know what I mean? Like when you do like white on black and things like that.
Yeah,
but,
nice.
so I think there's always stuff in the house that that was always ready that for you if you wanted to go for it. But I think I was just it was like nature and drawing and silliness was my thing always.
That's awesome. My mother used to. Neither of my parents were arty, but they liked to doodle, and so they would. My mother would draw characters for me, and my father would doodle now and again. But my mother used to do some part-time cleaning in the evenings in a registry office in town.
Yeah.
So when she finished, she'd like put reams of copy of paper in her bag, bring it home. So I'd always have paper. I just have like stacks of paper. Yeah. She knew exactly what I wanted to do.
Yeah, now I have to go and buy it myself. It's terrible.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'd still go to old sketchbooks instead and just do it on the crappy page. But yeah.
So the choice of trapdoor for you is, like you said, colours, chaos, fart noises.
Gourmet's delight, sire, you will relish every mouthful, and what a mouth. A nice bit of meat. He should have his own cookery program on the television.
When you told me you want to talk about trapdoor, my first thought was, that's going to be a difficult one to talk about. I know now it's not. It's actually quite easy. But compared to all the other shows I've spoken about so far, which were long running, most of them were syndicated American TV shows. So you couldn't
big productions, weren't they?
Yeah, like Thundercats. The first season was 65 episodes. I think they ended up making like 140 or whatever. There in the first season of Trapdoor, there were 25 episodes made, and the second was 15. So all in all, they made about 40 episodes, and each one was 4 minutes long. But the sheer amount of imagination and creativity that went into the show, it screams it from every episode. There's no one episode that's exactly the same, because like you said earlier, the episodes generally were Burke accidentally leaves a trapdoor open, something comes out, causes chaos. But like I said, we mainlined probably all 40 of these the other day, and there was no boredom whatsoever. It was.
You can tell they were having fun, can't you? I think. Aside from sort of imagining that you could make this kind of thing, there was a lot of work that went. It was still a bit like things like Peppa Pig that are very simple. Like there's a lot of thought behind it, but I mean, with this, so playful. I mean, but those, the lighting is really nice, and like things like the theme tune's got a bit of a punch, like you'd never expect such a bad boy of a tune, but then it was like a friend was saying it was I think a Commodore 64 game or something like that. It was big enough to be a game in another genre. You know what I mean? So
that's right. Yeah.
It sort of seemed to, like, if they put it on now, it would be probably all right. It would look a bit grainy, unfortunately, but you'd put it on for a bit of a laugh. It wouldn't be that bad.
Well, it stands up. It absolutely stands up, even because, even though I think that's one of the beauties of plasticine animation is it doesn't age,
Yeah.
Like even traditional animation, no matter how nice it is, it can age. Like you look at Snow White now, compared to more modern, traditionally animated features, and it's aged,
Yeah.
But you can look at the plasticine stuff. Like I always remember a film, and I can't remember the name of it, but it was about Mark Twain. It was a plasticine animated film from I want to say the 70s, early 80s by Will Vinton Studios, and that's not aged at all. I caught it on YouTube the other day, and even like you look at the Californian Raisin commercials,
Yeah,
And
still cool. Yeah.
Wallace and Gromit,
Yeah.
it's not aged. And you look at the episodes and the simplicity of the animation as well.
Yeah, because it doesn't actually have to do much. But although
No.
I was checking out, like, some of the tentacles have got some nice
Yeah.
over action. Like, when they've gone for it, they've gone for it.
Yeah.
But Burke only has to sort of he's got 2 feet, hasn't he? And he just goes bop, 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 bop.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to walk properly. You got Boney, who's a skull, who actually just goes like that. There's no
Yeah.
different shapes. And then they just have a laugh when they can with the other kind of squiggly worms and
Oh
stuff.
yeah. Well, when worms, the worms are always the best, and when Burke is actually making food and he's like smacking the worms into the
Yeah,
bowls and cutting things up, and it just looks amazing. It looks disgusting,
yeah, it does look
and because
disgusting.
because it's real.
Mm,
I know they're not real worms, but you know that it's got a tactile feel to it, and
yeah.
and it's like there's just something that makes it like extra disgusting.
Yeah, and he's sort of ad-libbing as well, there's a lot
Yeah,
of he's just sort of buggering about really, isn't he, when
yeah,
he's doing his
yeah.
narration. It's like, "Oh, yeah, this is me at home," but yeah, there's just a lot of joy in it really. I think it brings a smile to your face, which is kind of, I think, why I got into animation really.
Mm. So looking at the key players in the development of the show, right? So
Mhm,
there were basically two animators. There was Terry Brain and Charlie Mills.
mhm.
So and they were known as Brain Box Mills. So these are the guys came up with the idea, put it together, and they produced it through their own company, CMTB Animation.
Right.
They would go on and do Stop It and Tidy Up.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, which
Similar
was
kind of like yeah.
yeah, and that wasn't traditional animation. It was and it wasn't plasticine either. It was sort of flat drawn card animation,
Yeah,
kind of
easy to not
what cell action is now,
yeah,
really.
yeah. But it was achievable again, like, I think, it's probably, that's how I approach animation. I always wanna make it like, "Can I finish this? Can
Yeah,
I make"
cool.
and so I think obviously they've got it in their heads like, "We can do something fun, but we've gotta
Mm,
be able to make this on a budget," right? I
yeah,
guess. But, okay, so Stop It and Tidy Up, yeah, cool.
yeah, which was narrated by Terry Wogan.
Ah, so they've got another kind of old pro in there to do yeah.
Yeah, really nice accent, that sort of Irish lilt and the background in radio, and there's that. I always remember Stopping and Tidy Up as being again super creative because the monsters and the sort of characters that were in there, and you could see the resemblance as well between the creatures from Trapdoor.
Yeah. No, I can see that probably did just as well. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
my book obviously, but like,
Yeah.
I'm sure I remember it being on, so it must have been all right. But yeah.
Yeah, no, but it was a few years later, so that was like I think it was like early to mid 90s,
So it
which
was
is
obviously
just about the
ITV, wasn't it? Or children's ITV, wasn't it?
yeah. I think Stopping and Tidy Up was BBC.
Ah, the
I'm
Trapdoor, it
pretty
feels
certain
more ITV. I don't know.
that was
Yeah,
CITV. Yeah,
yeah. And like
because
Duckula time as well, wasn't it? And that.
yes, yeah, it started and it was early afternoon. That sort of that slot, like you said, around about Duckler and
Hmm.
stuff like that. And then they shifted it to Saturday mornings.
Ah, right.
Now, and I didn't know this until I did a bit of research the other day, but they started showing the second series on Motormouth. Do you
Yeah,
remember Motormouth?
yeah. I remember
I
that.
completely forgotten about that on a Saturday morning.
Was it Gaz Toll? Is that his name?
Yeah, I think it was, yeah, and it was
But it had a big gob behind, like a big,
yes,
didn't it? And yeah. It was one of
and I
the
think it was
various.
Gabby
I
Roslin as well. I think.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
On there, as a yeah.
yeah, and then they shifted it to there was another show after that. Then I think it might have been Get Fresh.
Yeah. Is that with
Uh,
Gilbert in it? The
yeah.
sleep
I'd
stuff.
forgotten about all these Saturday morning shows.
Yeah. Well, you used to flip between them, didn't you? Because it was a bit like, I don't know, I don't know if you're watching the World Cup and you switch between
Yeah,
ITV
yeah.
commentary. Like, you'd go like,
That's a
and
good
some of them
analogy.
you'd switch across to BBC because they had.
Well, they'd
What
have
I was thinking the one the
Going
space.
Live.
Yeah,
There was either Going Live or there was, I mean, when really early, there was Swap Shop. And then,
Galaxy High. That's what I'm
oh,
thinking of.
Galaxy High, used to love
That was
that.
on one of them.
Mm.
That was on maybe the Beep. I'm not sure. Can't
Yeah,
remember.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it was, yeah.
And it's like when you think about how you used to, like those tiny snippets you had to wait of Transformers on
Yeah,
like Wackaday and stuff like that, and things like,
yeah.
it's like, cool, they really milked that, It was
Oh, do you know, well, I still remember to this day the first time that they put Transformers on.
Hmm.
And it was TVAM. And so they would show 5 minutes every day of a single episode, because the episodes were 25 minutes.
Hmm.
And they'd show it just before the birthdays. Or no, in fact, they'd do the birthdays and then they'd do the 5 minutes. And it would always end on the
Yeah. No, I don't know, I did love Transformers, even though there wasn't a great deal to it at the time. Like, I just loved all the different, I could
Ah,
name, I know you're going
yeah.
to talk to Tim later, but like,
I am, yeah. That's up
um,
there. That's for me. I would say that's probably my,
I could talk about Transformers for ages, just
yeah,
because
that's
I
my
used to
favorite
draw
show.
yeah,
Yeah. That's
and the
my,
names, like, and the triple changes and the, like
the
every
headmasters. Oh.
yeah, it's just nuts. But yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, well, I said to me, we were so lucky because I've had like this is it's a recurring conversation with everybody I've spoken to so far. Is that
Mm.
you had the older generation and us growing up, and obviously like TV being TVs in homes being new things, and so
Yeah.
children's TV being things like the Wooden Tops, and then you're talking about Andy Pandy and so on, and then you're working up into Trumpton and Camberwick Green, and and then all of a sudden then you get to the 80s, and mainly because of America changing the law so that um, toy companies were allowed to advertise. Like up until that point, they hadn't been allowed. Once those floodgates opened and they started making TV shows to sell toys, that's when, we were just bombarded then with just cool shit,
It's amazing. But it was, I don't know, I loved it. Like, I just remember it was all about these plastic toys, and now
Mm.
I'm big, conservationist, like thinking about this
Yeah.
plastic's terrible.
Yeah, we can't think about it.
But the wall of Star Wars stuff was something to behold. Like, I remember
Yeah.
going to see my gran in Stockport, and her just taking me into the local toy shop, and there was a wall, and you were like, "There's so many. There are so many." But also, there's not just how many are that there's just the really cool ones, and you still there's there's no Jawas. You never see a Jawa, and all that kind of stuff. Like, just going in there being so excited, and then actually being so pleased with anything I got, kind of thing. And
Oh yeah, I mean, trips to Toys R Us. That was that was like going to Aladdin's cave, wasn't it? It's like I could have spent all day just walking up and down the aisles,
And I remember just thinking about the first, when you got that first broadcast of a show. I remember the first man, and I remember my friend saying, "Come round and watch it." Of course, I could just go roll around there on my bike, and just remember watching the first He-Man, and that was like, wow. And that had a lot. That was, I think that was ITV, wasn't it? So it would have been like
Yes, it was. Yeah,
I just remember going around and going, wow. He-Man was another one that was just awesome. Just had quite a few of the toys, mainly the crap ones, like the bee guy. There's always what's he called?
Buzz off.
Yeah,
Yes,
he
there we
was
go.
shit. He was like the worst one you could get. And there was
Oh, I
always
don't know, man. I think Fisto is up
bins,
there.
the bins of the shit ones. Like, there was like
Yeah.
Whiplash. He was like a cool one. He could whip his tail, and it's like, nah, it's just Buzz off. And that was a real 80s thing where, like, you're just waiting. We're thinking of like Buzzsaw, as in Buzz.
Yeah,
Oh, I wanted those cassettes and Soundwave and Ravage and all that lot.
yeah. Yeah, I said
Anyway.
this but I forget who I spoke about this with someone, and so I wonder if it, like obviously the American shows, right, were just toys, right? So toys, toys,
Mm.
toys. You know, I went through He-Man, Thundercats, Masters Universe,
Yep.
Transformers,
Thundercats.
Visionaries, you know, all this, blah, 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 you know. Just feel sorry for my parents, to be honest with you. But the British shows, and this is a perfect example, nothing, you know? You think back to the shows and you got Super Ted and you've got this, and you've got Duckler and Danger Mouse. And all right, you might see, you know, they were always the annuals,
Mm.
you're always the annuals that would come
Boy.
out in September and
Yeah.
but I don't remember toys, you know. I don't remember Danger Mouse toys. I don't remember
No.
Duckula figures, or I certainly don't remember. I might been trapped on merch. Like you mentioned the game, and I
There
remember
was
that
a game, but there wasn't much else. I
there
mean,
was a
yeah.
board game.
Yeah.
But that was it. I wonder if that, like, I love to collect Funkos now and stuff like that, and toys and things that
Mm.
inspired, that I loved as a kid, and I wonder if that's a lot of the reason why, because there wasn't that much merch. And now, I mean, Jesus, you get merch for anything that's on the telly. Something comes on the telly once, and there's like walls of it wherever you go, and I don't know, it's
Yeah, it's
just
interesting. It makes me think how they were much more story-driven
yeah,
based. Well, I mean, they all had to have a story, but they weren't relying on you
mm,
buying it. And so
yeah.
there there probably were less series as well, just because you probably had like you'd run out of story. I don't know, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like
Well,
they were quality writers and
yeah.
quality productions. But yeah, it's true.
Oh, yeah, they were amazing, but they had money thrown at them, and the things were commissioned left, right, and centre back then as well. So they had somebody, a commissioning editor in BBC or ITV would see something whether it was a book or a comic or something, and they go, "That'd make a good show. There's a wad of money, go and make it."
Yeah,
And
or
I mean,
make something else, what you're going to make next, and all that kind of
yeah,
stuff. Like
yeah,
just the principle that you could make it and do another thing. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I mean,
but
I'd kill for that now, but
oh, imagine having that sort of like, we trust you, Gareth. Just
oh.
knock a few series out, just choose what you want, whatever makes you laugh, that'd be cool.
I said, yeah, I got this idea for a guy who lives underneath the castle,
Yeah.
and there's monsters in the trapdoor. You crack on, guy.
Yeah, go get on with that. Yeah, yeah.
I'm in. I'm in. So, one of the other things about trapdoor as well, right?
Mm,
So every show I've done so far, they've had big voice casts, yeah?
yeah.
Thundercats had a very small voice cast that covered loads of voices. There were
Mm,
literally two actresses, and they did every female voice in the show.
yeah.
This has got one person
One dude.
essentially, which
Yeah.
is Willie Rushton,
Yeah.
who was a comedian and author. He starred in a few films. I didn't realize until I did the research, he was one of the co-founders of Private Eye,
Well,
the
yeah.
the satirical newspaper.
It's like they've got a trusted guy in, haven't they? That they know. It's
Mm,
almost like getting a
yeah.
Kenneth Williams in for Will o' the Wisp.
Yes.
They've got in a dude who can freestyle it. He knows what he's doing, and he can do all the characters, and no problem. Like, pay him a decent wage, and he did the business, didn't he? So it's
Yeah. He did it really well, and like you
Mm.
alluded to earlier, the West Country accent for Burke, that was genius. It was brilliant, because I don't know what it does for the character, but it lends him something that just makes him funnier. If
Yeah,
they'd
yeah,
just gone for
definitely.
Cockney or Scottish, I don't know.
Also, he doesn't give a shit as well. He kind of
Mm.
just like, but in the first episode, I think, the guy upstairs and don't go in that trapdoor because whatever. Well, no, he doesn't do the West Country. He
It works
he
for
says,
everyone.
door, and then he's like, just opens it up. Straight away stuff happens, and he's knocking stuff over, and like he doesn't give a crap about his mate Boney. He's always lobbing him down the drain or
Yeah.
whatever. He's treading on his spider pal, and then pretty much everything's bish bash bosh in it. It's like whatever. Da, da, da. Oh, I think I could just about got away with that. That's the end. Bye, like that. And it's just I love the sort of calamity of it all, and he just
Well, yeah, the
free.
spontaneity of it as well,
Mm,
and So apparently, Willie Rushton, he did the recording afterwards. He did the voice. Yeah, he would do it to the film. So
Right.
even though it was scripted,
Right.
they did the mouth shapes in such a way that they kept it quite nebulous.
Yes, I
And then
noticed.
he would go on and do match up.
Yeah.
And but then they would let him improvise. And he
Yes.
would almost, and some of the improvisation he would do to what the lip sync was on there anyway.
Yeah.
Kind of like American actors dubbing a Ghibli film.
Yes.
And they just found that, like they said, they'd be rolling around, like Terry Brain and Charlie would be rolling around in the
That's
recording
brilliant.
booth. And
I
and
love all
and
that.
again,
That's
yeah,
so
just that
nice. Yeah.
chaos, man.
Mm. And
Just
I'd
that
like to
chaos.
see that. I mean, we're all, if you're in the animation game, you're a little bit, shoulders are up. You like things
Yeah,
how you like it. You don't want
yeah.
it to go wrong. But I don't know, that brings such a level of quality to it. And nice to know that now. And I'd love to see more of that happen. I always want, if I'm doing a project, sound first, please. Gotta,
Mm,
that's my guide.
yeah.
But what if you didn't and it was just a little bit loosey goosey afterwards? But then it was some, freestyling comedian who's
Mm.
just making it a whole lot better.
Yeah, well, you've made some shorts, but you've
Mm,
made them to a film to music, haven't you? So,
yeah.
was with the goat film, was
Mm,
the music in place for that, or did that come after?
yeah, I had a temp track. That's that little film there. It's like the
Yeah,
first film I made was really simple, just silhouettes of goats. They go one way and then they come back, and that's it. And they eat everything and they come back. But yeah, that had a tune on it. But like I was influenced, if you could get a cool tune, like
mm,
it was nice. I got a couple of, and that also that Eagle Blue, I managed to
yeah,
get an artist. I just got, I think when you're, one thing I'd say, like when you're young and like, you can get away with the cheeky email saying, "Oh, I love your
yeah,
music." And those were a couple of those where they let me use it. But yeah, I love sound projects that, when you got a tune or even if it's like now I'm doing more bird stuff, like having the recorded bird song, I do love the sound first. That is what I do enjoy. But
nice.
in this instance, I think it is perfect that he kind of did it afterwards, like it's some kind of old black and white film when they were playing the piano over the top, that kind of thing. I think
Yeah.
if more productions risked doing stuff like that, we'd have some good shows.
Oh God, yeah. And it's like I always loved the beginning of it, where
Yeah,
they start talking, because it was complete parody of the Vincent Price horror
yeah,
films, isn't it? When it in the deep dark dungeon and all that sort of
yes.
stuff, and then into that theme tune, and that theme tune is an absolute banger still. I love that theme
I
tune.
forgot how, like, I was like, right, let's just recap. Let's watch one of these. Whoa, what's this big, like,
Yeah.
production going?
I was speaking to my wife before I came up to record, and she said, "Oh, so what are you doing tonight?" And I said, "Trapdoor." And she said, I done. Did I have a theme tune?" I said, "Yeah, of course it did."
Mm,
And she's like, "I can't remember that theme." So I ended up singing it for her. And
yeah,
spoiler alert, I can't sing for shit. My wife tells me I'm not allowed to sing, really, but straight
right,
away she knew it. So I must
yeah.
have done a decent voice, a decent job, But
Something down there, and then it goes dun 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 dun.
dun,
Yeah,
dun. Yeah,
yeah,
I love
yeah,
it. It's just
that's
that
good.
was. I know I did the research on that one, right?
Mhm.
So the theme song was written by Bob Heaty, who's a Scottish songwriter, and he
Right.
also wrote the Shakin' Stevens hit "Merry Christmas, Everyone."
Wow.
And I don't know if you know "Japanese Boy" by Annika, because that was like a one hit 80s song, and I do remember that.
Right.
And then the vocals were performed by Zygot. No, I've not heard of those before,
No,
or him or her. I don't know, but yeah, that's a
it
top
was.
tier theme tune.
It's got some power behind it. I forgot how powerful it was, and like, yeah, I was not expecting it to be as kind of blam as it was. Like it
Mm,
was, it's pretty strong. It's
yeah.
it's not it's not like your Poddington peas, but like it's got
Well,
some good stuff.
it's a good segue then. So go on. What have you got in terms of favorite theme tunes? Is
Oh,
this even? Is this up? Is this up there? So if you were going like top 3 theme tunes,
it was a surprise hit. It wouldn't have been a bit like you were saying with your partner, like I didn't remember it, but when I heard it, I was like, oh, no, that's tasty, Things for me, Fraggle Rock. I mean, not animated. Is that allowed?
So it doesn't have to be animated.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fraggle Rock. What did I write down? Will-O the Wisp is probably my top. Just because I used to whistle it a lot. No,
Okay.
I whistle quite a lot around the house. Like, I'm very annoying. I
That is a
whistle
good one.
Antiques Roadshow. I still whistle You've Been Framed.
Okay.
I whistle all sorts of annoying crap, mainly to maybe annoy my partner. But also I do it. It makes me laugh, and it's amazing. It's like all this 80s culture that went in.
Yeah.
They did a great job on the commercials, didn't they?
Yes. Yeah.
Ariston and on, like all these kind of
And
things.
bongo.
Drink It in the Jungle.
Yeah.
It just all went in. But in terms of kids shows, I had Poddington Peas was a bit of another one I can just sing if I am going down the bottom of the garden.
Down at the bottom of the garden, among the birds and the bees, a little lot of little people, they call the Poddington Peas.
With the birds.
With the birds and the bees.
There are a lot of people, the Poddington Peas. Apparently Poddington is quite close to where my mum lives, so there you go.
There's another tie.
You couldn't sing it, but I could. Those would be some of the kid shows I really enjoyed. I mean, but you got Thundercats, you got Ulysses, you've got some good ones. There's Ulysses. You used to just sing that, and I didn't really know what was going on in the cartoon. Pretty much, it was just
I don't think anybody did.
It was just nuts. But Cities of Gold,
Yeah, that's a classic. It is.
even Gummy Bears. I used to sing. I think it could potentially be 90s. That I'm not sure, but
no, I think it's late 80s, early 90s, perhaps.
yeah,
I'm sure
Gummy
it's late
Bears used
80s.
Disney
had a period, man, where they were just churning out quality theme tunes. Because you got Gummy Bears, you got Darkwing Duck, you got Tailspin, and obviously DuckTales.
Yeah.
Everything was a banger over there, you know what I mean?
No, I mean, I wouldn't mind. I like to dabble in some music stuff myself sometimes, and there's something. I bet it's pretty satisfying to come up with a pretty cool little tune.
Yeah.
It's gonna just icing on the cake of this little show, and
Well, you sort of. There's less of it now. It's not, it hasn't completely disappeared, but there's still classics. I mean, and not just because you were here. Duggee, that's a earworm, You got the Peppa Pig one. I remember Plinky Plonky, but I remember years ago now taking who's my eldest now to Peppa Pig, so he would have been about 5, and then Charlie would have been about 2, maybe even a year old. But we went to Peppa Pig World. And so you go to Disney, you can walk around Disney, and they got such a back catalogue of music, they'll be playing something different everywhere. But we were walking around Peppa Pig World, and it was just a Peppa Pig theme tune. That's all it was for 2 days.
That's enough. Drive a dude mad. I mean, I can tell you, having worked being on Peppa for quite, what was I on? Series 2 to Series 4, I think. When it got made, they took us. So even then, it was like a bunch of 30-something people who did dudes who didn't want to be there, going around on these trains, just being like, "What the hell are we doing here?" It's this is worse than having to do, the lip sync again. This is worse than having to do it. Like now we're stuck on a ride, like pretending to enjoy ourselves. But
Look at the
it was a day
camera,
off.
smile for the
I'll take
camera.
that. It was
That's
a
fair.
day. We didn't get many, but yeah, no, it was. Yeah, I feel your pain on that one. But
Yeah. I just remember leaving there thinking I could really do a bacon sandwich now.
yeah. That's why when I did the story, I did it not about Peppa, I did it about Pedro because I couldn't stand like Peppa at that point. I was ready for Pedro to just rule this
Yeah.
show.
Time to shine.
Just a little bell end that, he just he needed his own adventure instead of old bossy boots,
Yeah. Oh, God. I'm done with Peppa now. So, like you said earlier, yeah, the television series, it spawned the video game. It was called The Trapdoor, and there was a sequel called Through the Trapdoor, and they were available for, all the standards then, ZX Spectrum, Amstrad, Commodore 64. Although I don't think I ever had it for my Commodore Plus 4, but that was just me. So, legacy-wise, Terry Brain went on to work at Aardman for a long time. And he worked on 6 of the Wallace and Gromit films, and then he unfortunately passed away then in 2016. And Charlie, I don't know much of at the moment.
Well, I can see how they went on to those kind of shows because that's where I then went, all that. And then when I was in A level, I did a project about Nick Park and watching War Story and Creature Comforts. So I was like, the Creature Comforts probably is like the next one on from Trapdoor in my head. Like, look at these animals, still funny.
Yeah.
But it's taking it to the next level. Look how they're bringing this sort of audio to life. That was fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, I love Creature Comforts.
And when we went to college, I still didn't know. The reason I went to our college in Wales was because it offered so many different each option was very well looked after. So you could do CG, you could do stop motion, you could do drawn.
Yeah.
Or a mixed media, but that's why I ended up going there. It was because it was a college that offered all of it. And at that time, I could have easily done stop motion. I don't know exactly
that's cool.
why I didn't do it in the end. Maybe I just started to get into I could see how I could draw within a limited way. That is how my brain works. Like, I think, first of all, plasticine was the only way I could see Will Rose making shit.
And look where you ended up.
Oh, yeah. But, it's surprising in a way that, like, I still make things that are very easy to use and very easy to make, and I'm still a one-man band. So maybe that comes from that kind of seeing it as Trapdoor in the most, like I call it this sort of shoebox with your little characters there and the camera. I still work like that. Like, okay, got a tree, another branch, couple of birds fly in. Right, cut. None of that fancy shit. Let's move on. And I always used to say at college, simple but effective was my motto. So that I think maybe Trapdoor has a lot to do with that.
Yeah, that's lovely. But that's lovely to think, though, isn't it? Again, like the majority of people I've spoken to, that these little shows that have influenced you then to go down that path, and then to think of the shows that you've worked on. I mean, like Peppa Pig now is a generational show because it's been going for so long that children who were children when they watched it now have children of their own. And Duggee's gonna go that way for sure. I think, and I hope so. I mean, I love Duggee.
I just went to the 10-year anniversary the other day.
So
it's good fun. Yeah, I had a little bit too much to.
I mean,
it's fun. Yeah. I got home in the end.
Typical Will way. But I mean, to think that you've worked on something that might have that effect on children now, I mean, that's I love that about animation,
we've all got stuff that we know has affected people and kids have watched it, adults have watched it, and hopefully everyone's had a laugh, and
Yeah.
I mean, I work on stuff that I'd want to watch as a kid, probably, I think. And then you do
Yeah.
things that you obviously, especially with the animation business now, it's tricky, but like you do tend to gravitate to stuff that I would like
Yeah.
to watch
Yeah.
and possible.
Well, just think now there might be children out there with Duggee toys, their limbs are ripped off, like plasticine blood all over them,
Yeah, you have to have blood on it and then like make it kill like like Happy or one of the little guys. Just take him out. Duggee goes on a rampage. They're all dead. The end. Stick him down the trapdoor.
Yeah.
Finished.
There's a new series, give Grant a shout.
As long as
Mate.
everyone's dead at the end, and it's just a perfect way to end a show. Everyone knows it's the end. There's no one left.
Well, yeah, it's like a perfect. What was that? The wedding in Dynasty was there where everybody was shot up, and you had to wait the whole season to see who survived. You could do that with Duggee.
Yeah. I think it'll be going for a while now. They'll be all right. But that's just
Or
my level.
they do a Transformers the movie or a Duggee the movie where they kill everybody off in the first 5 minutes and they introduce the new generation of squirrels.
Can I tell? Well, there you go. I mean, tell you one thing about Transformers, which I have said I bloody loved. When the film came out,
Mm.
I went to go and see it, and I think it was sold out, and I had to go and see GoBots versus.
Ah, no way.
And I never saw it on the big screen. I was fuming, absolutely fuming.
Poundland Transformers, I was.
I know.
I've got a story about Transformers, the movie. I'm not going to tell you now because I'm going to have to keep it for when I chat with Tim. But it explains. It's a story of patience, zen levels of patience, and I never saw it in the cinema either. But you're gonna have to wait for that one.
And then that is the thing with a lot of these shows, isn't it? You were given, like you say, like such glimmers, like Trapdoor, 4 minutes. Little slither of Transformers, but God, we had patience then. I mean, these kids don't know the one with all this iPads. Like they can watch it whenever they want. We had to see like a bit, and then there weren't even any toys for it. And then you had to wait 2 years for like one to come with a lightsaber or whatever. Like Ghostbusters, there were no toys for Ghostbusters when it came out. Nothing.
No, they're everywhere now, and I'm too old for them.
Oh, and that's one thing that I was going to say, because my dad did have all these things hanging around from like various like photo shoots and stuff. One smell that reminds me of my childhood is the smell of slime. And we had a lot of ectoplasm slime that used to come in a bit like a Play-Doh cup. But we had loads of slime because there was quite a few like ghosts that you could squeeze and like it would come out of their nose like
snot. But
we just had a lot of slime around and it would always like be there for too long, so it was just like a jelly blob thing. But the smell of slime is
what did it smell like?
It was just typical kind of sweet kind of plasticky kind of thing, like most like everything that we played with.
To this day, I can't play with that stuff. I can't. I don't know what it is about it, but I just can't. I don't like the texture of it. Oh.
It wasn't nice. It was good for squishing through stuff, but you didn't want to get slime. No way. In fact, I never did that. Like you could never get a fully slimed like when Slimer slimed someone. But
I don't want to think. Yeah, I don't want to think what he did to him. Mate, that was brilliant.
Brilliant. Yeah, no, lovely to chat to you. Yeah. I need to. It looks like it's time for bed now, isn't it? Hey, Wicket.
Well, I mean, there was a whole series of the Ewoks we can talk about at some point.
Was that 80s or?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ewoks and droids.
Not a bad theme tune as well. Used to sing that one.
That was brilliant, though.
Yeah.
There's plenty, mate. You're on the database. There'll be another one.
Okay, no worries. Yeah. Just give us a call.
And you'll have to bring the Ewok with you as well.
Right, I'm just going to rip his arm off now and go to bed.
Yeah, get some plasticine. Cheers, man.
All right. Cheers, dude.